Hey everybody, it's Mark Rogero here, Clark Commando 1983. It's February 26th, about 3 in the morning. Cancer's been really messing with me, so it's kind of delayed my videos a little bit. Apologize about that. So this is part of my World War I deep dive to weltkrieg. Got the Western Front set up here. I've actually had it set up for, well, quite a while now. Feels like. What I'm going to try to get through here is, so it may be a long video, I'm not sure, but like I said, this is a deep dive in the World War One, and I want to point out a few things. So what we'll see how far we get. This is the Schieffelin plan. There's some mobilization I'm going to go over. Turn sequence, a couple notes I made, and if you like my video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it. And this will be technically, I think, part 3 of my deep dive. So the first thing I want to show you is on the back of the rule book of the standard Sterling edition rule book, of course, terrain effects. And I made a little note to myself, just Zox or +1 to enter and leave. Just a little mnemonic there to help me get through it. One of my previous videos, I went through the rule book, I believe, and showed you what I highlight, and some other things. This division level, each month is 7 turns. And like I said, this is, somebody had pointed out in my other videos, I thought it was a real pain, but some of the stuff for the scenario is predetermined, and it is part of the historical mobilization. If you play a full campaign, there is a free setup, and of course it's your game, you can do what you want. Part of the Schieffelin plan, I'm not going to cover all the special rules, but one of them is, basically no country has any rail movement available till the 6th turn of August. Each month is 7 turns. And then on that first one, it's halved until the first week of September, or first turn of September. And that's because the majority of the rail, of course, was being used to mobilize troops and whatnot. So some of the restrictions are, so for the first turn, German infantrynists that mobilize in the first turn must move adjacent to Liège. Okay. You have to, until August 6th turn, German players must maintain a line of hexes from hex 2415 to Strasbourg, which is basically, let's see, I want to get in front of the camera. 2414 is right here. I think you can see that. Let's see. Right here, yeah. So basically, you gotta try to maintain a front here all the way down to Strasbourg, which doesn't give you a hex, but it's right, Strasbourg. Oh, hex 3018 it does give you, which is right here. Let's see if we can see that on the camera. Yeah, you can see where I'm pointing there, right there. So must maintain from there a solid line or Zox. So, okay. The only exception, and I'm going to highlight that, for the no rail movement till the 6th turn is German and Austro-Hungarian siege artillery can use rail movement during the 3rd and 4th turn of So that's a special rule there. And there's a couple other ones we won't get into because they're not till later on. And then it says here all 6, 4, and 7, 4 units in the French 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th armies must make every effort to conduct an attack by the end of the 5th August turn, right? This, I'm sure, represents Plan 17. And then for French infantry that are part of the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, headquarters may only move in easterly or northerly directions. All Belgian units, except for the units which are set up on maps in hex 1807, must move in one of the 3 hexes of the 3rd August turn, which is up by Antwerp, 1504, 1603, and 1604. So, all right, so that's some of the special rules. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to try to point out rules as I go. We're 6 minutes in. So this may be a little bit slow, but I hope you enjoy your games like I do, like a fine wine. I'm going to try to zoom in just a little bit more. There we go. Maybe you can see a little bit better there. So there's no reinforcements that come in, so you can't see it over here, but there's a nice track for tracking your phases. So we're going to go right to the Central Powers movement phase. And there's actually very few units to move on the first turn, right? Because the first turn mobilizations are... Where'd it go? Here we go. All right. The Schieffelin-Pan mobilization completion schedule. So for the August turn, all 8-2 siege units, this is for Germany, and all 4-3 siege units are completely mobilized. That means they can move. Any 2 8-5 infantry divisions under 1st Army, any 1 8-5 infantry under the 2nd Army, 1, and all cavalry under the 1st. All right, so that's going to make it pretty easy. Somebody said this was a pain. I don't necessarily agree, because I think what you do is pretty simple. I'm going to show you here. So we're going to, you can see, now technically in the game it really doesn't matter who draws supply from what, but here's the armies, right? 1st Army setup. So we can release 2 8-5 infantry units and all the cavalry from 1st Army. And then from the 2nd Army, we get to move 1 8-5. And we know from the special rules that any, let's just look at it again. German infantry units mobilized in the first turn must move adjacent to Liège. So let's look for an 8-5 that's under 2nd Army control. So we're going to look at hex 2306 first. Trying to make sure my cancer fingers here don't screw me up. 2306, 4, 5, 6. So these are under 2nd Army control. So we can go ahead, and we've got an 8-5 here. We can release 1 of these. And like I said, one of the things I like about this game in particular is the unique hexagons. They're pretty neat. And they're by hexide, which shows you the historical paths. So we're in 2306, 4, 5, 6. So the first thing we're going to do is go, now this hex here is clear, so it's going to be 1, 2 to enter a Zach. And then we're going to go here. It's going to be 3 to cross the river, 4 movement point. to enter the hex, and a 5th movement point because we're leaving Zok. Now let's see, I may not have enough movement points to do that. I literally, let's double check the Zok rules, because if it costs 1 to enter and 1 to leave, then we're not going to be able to get that far, are we? And I do believe that's Rule 10 in the standard rules. Let's see here. Units must expend 1 extra movement point to enter or to leave an enemy-controlled hex. Enter or leave. Oh, and then they spell it out. 2 extra movement points to move directly from one enemy-controlled hex to another. So because of the river, we're not going to be able to do that, are we? Because it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's as far as that guy can get. Then under First Army control, we're going to go ahead and move these 2 8-5s here. 2405. That's the 2 that release from there. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 3. That gives me 3 divisions stacked there so far. And if you remember, I'm just going to go ahead and recap really quick. Stacking's pretty generous in this. So stacking is Rule 11 in the Sterling book. So we're going to get to that really quick here. Okay, stacking. At the end of any phase, a player may have no more than 6 divisions in a single hex. Reduced strength count as full divisions. You can also have up to 3 artillery units, maybe in the same hex. Fortress, engineers, regiments, headquarters, and any type of marker do not count for stacking purposes. You can see that stacking gets pretty liberal. All right, so we're still moving, and in the mobilization schedule, we still have all the siege guns to move. We're going to start moving them towards the front, and then all the 2-6 cavalry under First Army control or mobilized. So let's go ahead and move them really quick here. We've got 2306, 7, and 8. See if there's any other cavalry. Nope. Okay. Once again, just to catch myself, 06, 7, and 8. 3, 4, 5, 6. We have this so these 3 cavalry units. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 for the river, 4, 5, 6. So the cavalry unit can actually make it there. And we'll go ahead and move this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to use cavalry just to kind of get them out there. You should never really attack with your cavalry. They're not meant to be. Now let's see here. Here, we're going to take this guy. He's under control of First Army also. Let's double check on that. 2nd, 4th, and 9th Cavalry Division. Okay, perfect. So we're looking at a Woods Hex side. There's 2 movement points. And so this guy is going to go 2. Now this is broken, but it's crossed by a secondary railroad. Broken is 1 movement point. And the broken rail line, single track, would only affect it if the hex was 4 or more movement points. You gotta be careful on some stuff like that. Hopefully I'm not getting in front of the camera. I gotta be careful. I got my camera at a weird angle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because of the Zoc. And that's as far as that cavalry unit can go. So that's the initial moves of the German army after mobilization. So I think we're going to get a little further than I thought maybe, because, oh, I got to move the siege artillery, don't I? Okay. And I hope when I review this that I am not stepping in front of that camera too badly. I really hope that I'm far enough off to the side. So let's see here. So we're going to, now this is a major river. And a major river normally would be, let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on now. Major river, +3. Cannot be crossed by moving from hex and blah, blah, blah. So +3 movement points. River is +1. But here is where a rail line is a -1 movement point if the cost of the hex site is 3 movement points or more. So we're not using rail movement, but all the siege guns are released for movement. So we're going to start inching them. Looks like that's about as far as they could go. 1, 1. And then here, now normally it'd be +3 to cross the river, but the rail line lowers it by 1. So 2, 3, 3, it takes all their movement to get to there. And remember, you can stack up to 3, so artillery. So like in this hex, you'll notice there's already 2 artillery units. Whoops. So these 2 siege guns in this hex. Now we're gonna go. What kind of hex site is that? Looks like it's a woods. 2, 3. So we're gonna go 2, 3. And I'm gonna look really quick. I should wait for rail movement, but I'm gonna start. So broken 1, 2, 3. Get this guy to here. And here's another siege gun. 1, 2. And I think that's it. I think that's all they have are the 3 main siege guns and then the 4 Austro-Hungarians. I'm going to double check that really quick. And we're going to do a quick perusal. There's 2 siege guns. 2, yeah. And 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Looks like that's all the siege guns. Yeah, so unless I missed one somewhere, which I hope not, that's all the siege guns. So central powers, naval movement phase. There is no naval movement. That's probably something that's in the campaign or possibly one of the other games. Combat, I'm not going to initiate combat because honestly against the fortress with what I got, I think that would be suicidal at this point. I want to wait until until the siege guns move up. No replacements. So then entente reinforcements, entente movement. Now for turn 1, it looks like, so France, okay, German units turn 1, we went through that. So let's look at the, let's see, turn 1, French units. The 316 Cavalry Divisions in Hex 1913 are released. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, so 1913. So that's going to be on this map. 1913, these 3 cavalry units are reduced. Now, cavalry should not be, how do we put it, used for, you know, attacking, really, honestly, of any kind. So I think what we're going to do with them, not saying it's a smart move, but we've got to keep in mind that for supply purposes, we want to stay in range. So even though they're released, maybe it might be some benefit to throw out the screen in the woods here. So we're going to go 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There. And we'll go ahead and put 2 factors, make it a little bit less a target of a column attack. In fact, we'll put all 3 in the same hex and leave them there. How about that? Okay, so that was pretty exciting. So, Entente Naval, Entente Combat, and we come back. Central Power Reinforcement segment for turn 2 of August. And there is none. So, for purposes of this video, it's already 22 minutes in. I know we didn't get through a lot, but I want to do a little bit more rules review on my supply rules. And we're going to continue on my next video with turn 2. And we may play through some before that. Make a little note here. So let's see here. We're going to put start. Turn 2, I like to do that. Everything I like to do, I keep a notebook and write questions. Now, sadly, the game designer is not available, it seems, anywhere anymore. But there is a lot of resources on Facebook and on Consum World to ask questions. So we're going to put start, turn 2, August 1914, and we'll end this video there. Please stay tuned for my next part, Learn to Play After Action Report for this wonderful game. And also, I'm just waiting on about 2 more books to show up. And if you're interested, I have some videos on World War I, some books that I've ordered, some really great atlases. But I'm waiting for, I think, 2 more books to show up that picture history and a couple other ones. And we're going to dive even more into World War I. So thanks for joining me these last 25 minutes. And I look forward to doing more videos for you. Thank you all so much. Bye now.